Hello, we hope you're doing well. Welcome back to a very exciting episode of CSGO News. A lot of great stories in today's episode. They'll all be timestamped down below, but let's get into the first one out there. And again, I also want to warn you guys, we should have stickers, of course, coming sometime this week, and probably the rest of my videos this week will revolve around stickers in some way. We're going to do the Pick'em Challenge, and on top of that, probably analyze the stickers themselves, and I am so ready to invest in these things. But anyway, let's get into a big story out there, actually frequently involving N0thing. If you guys don't know him, kind of a semi-leaker, but also just a great Twitter account if you guys want to follow in the CSGO scene. I will link his account down below, as we do have rumors. And the main part of the story is actually revolving around Valve, who is targeting teams sponsored by any gambling websites out there. Now, there are many teams out there across both their games, Dota 2 and CSGO, who have been partnered with gambling or betting websites. You guys know NIP is sponsored by Betway. We also have N0thing and Navi sponsored by today's subject, that being a website known as gg.bet. So a lot of other teams out there also across the Dota 2 scene. It seems like there are many teams also like Binary Dragons, and we also have the Hellcase series. They run their own CSGO tournaments, and CSGO Polygon sponsored their tournament. So you guys probably know a long laundry list of teams out there, or organizers who have been partnered or affiliated in some way with gambling sites or betting sites, and apparently going forward is actually Valve now consulting teams to get rid of these sponsors, and we're not really sure on the full details as to how extreme that might be. But why I'm bringing up N0thing in particular is because he actually called out. Now, I'm not going to say called out, he simply posted a Reddit post on that was actually posted on the Dota 2 forums about this website, gg.bet, and again, they are affiliated with both Navi and N0thing. They're actually one of Navi's main sponsors, so that's why we're going to talk about this very briefly. There's been a long laundry list, of course, of accusations out there, and I think when it comes to any sports books, any gambling sites, there's going to always be accusations, and so it does come down to what's actually true. And I think as of right now, gg.bet's working on their response to all the allegations currently out there, and to be perfectly honest, it does seem their response is quite truthful so far. But then you look into it, there's definitely some sketchy sides to the website itself. So N0thing simply posted a tweet about this, and also they actually got back to him on Twitter. I'll show you guys a screenshot of their full conversation on screen, and yes, they kind of threatened him, but semi-threatened to sue him with their legal team. It was kind of a back and forth, and it's never a good thing to see a website kind of lashed back with that kind of response. But again, there's also two sides to this. You really can't blame them for responding, and they're trying to protect their brand. So when you look into it, there's a host of allegations out there, many of them being from users who apparently had their accounts blocked randomly. There's several allegations, of course, as to why this may have happened. You're not allowed to have multiple accounts on the website, and also there are several countries you actually cannot have an account in, and if you try and bypass that, they have the right to, of course, shut down your account. So again, I'm not going to accuse them of anything right now, but there are definitely many sketchy sources about this website. And a little further insight as well, where their gaming license has actually apparently been held or actually acquired was actually the region of Curacao. If you guys, that rings a bell to your ears, I believe that was the same region, and apparently one of the easier areas to actually acquire a gaming license from is Curacao, and that I think is actually the same place that CSGO Wild got theirs. And if you guys don't know the CSGO Wild story, well, they went downhill quite fast and were actually scamming people. So one of the places out there as well, this Curacao license does not allow these guys to actually operate in several countries out there, including the United States, which many gambling licenses do not currently allow you to operate in North America or in the United States currently right now, and they are definitely one of them. So a lot of stories about gg.bet, and hopefully going to be responses from several teams out there, but I think the main source of this story is not the fact that this gg.bet site is actually sketchy. They might be, they might not be. I'm not making accusations, but the big thing is, with this taking publicity and now taking big notice across both Dota 2 and CSGO, we are now probably going to see a further push by Valve, and they were already pushing to actually consult teams to try and discontinue these partnerships, and this could definitely impact the future of both the Dota 2 scene and especially the CSGO scene. With these big sponsors possibly leaving, we already saw CSGO gambling take a pretty big hit, and with that, our player numbers did fall, whether that's correlated or not, which I certainly think it is. And now if we get rid of betting, especially big betting websites, I guess the most notable one most recently is Ravelry.gg with Richard Lewis, and of course we have Betway with NIP. It's going to be a big question in the air going forward, is what comes down to actually being a legitimate website enough for the fact that they can actually sponsor a team. There's just so many questions right now out there that are still unanswered, but this could mean a big future thing, and it could be a big future impact on the game of CSGO, and we'll hopefully settle out in the next few months exactly what response we're going to see from both Valve, all these teams, and on top of that, the websites that have been currently accused. And also, of course, in biggest news out there, I'm a couple days late on this, but I thought I'd give you guys my opinion, of course, on the latest French rumored roster out there. Now, we've seen so many French rosters over the past 2 years, especially with the new French super team and the old French super team who did nothing for G2, and now we have the ex-Envious lineup, the left out guys who are obviously been left out of this, but apparently no longer. Of course, we have the current G2 lineup, which, again, one of the top 15 teams in the world, which I have not heard or actually watched in the longest time, and I don't know what they're doing, if they've just been boot camping like crazy. I wish them the best of luck, but I cannot kid you guys enough when I say this, and I mean, but I'm really serious, that this new roster could easily beat this actual G2 French French super team, and I mean that full-heartedly. If you guys heard, it was actually Decay who reported it first, and there was also Nell on top of that, although there was an argument, or not an argument, but kind of a shame that actually Nell was the article posted on the top forum, top Reddit post as well, but still, they both leaked this, and it does seem by, according to several sources out there, we're going to see a brand new French roster, and it will consist, of course, of the G2 lockdown players, because they're just way too expensive, that being MBK and Apex. It will also be Happy and RPK, and the fifth player will probably most likely be ZywOo. Now, first off, my first thought about this was, okay, cool. When you compare it player by player, especially with Smiths, I still think the weakest member in the G2 roster, and I still think he could be a great coach for that team. I really think, of course, compared historically speaking, these players have not all played in such big mixtures. This seems to be a pretty competitive lineup with that current G2 roster, but with the addition of ZywOo, you have to maybe put them over the edge, and if they give it enough time together, they could certainly beat the current G2 roster and become the new French #1 team. Now, of course, it's still rumors right now. Still an organization out there that's not G2 has to buy these guys, because you got to think about this with the new conflict of interest. You know, with ES Force apparently owning two teams, and of course we had Astralis. Those guys had to get rid of Heroic. They actually got rid of their Godsent roster, but again, we have no comments so far about them getting rid of the Heroic roster. But still, nonetheless, there's going to be an obvious conflict of interest, and G2 cannot buy them. They can't have the meme out there right now, the G2.2 team, but it's not going to happen. So a lot of rumors out there point towards other French organizations. The most notable one right now with their League of Legends team, their Halo team, their Call of Duty team, that being Vitality, could buy them out. But again, you got to realize, is this going to happen anytime soon? Because these players are just so expensive. We're going to expect probably 15 to 25K per month salaries, and on top of that, ZywOo, an up-and-coming player, he's at least going to be that expensive. And then you have the buyouts of MBK and Apex, which maybe this team will have to wait that long to actually, of course, wait out that buyout period and hopefully get them for a little bit cheaper. But again, if this roster will happen, I definitely see them competing. But the big question mark as well going forward is we can still have so many other French rosters out there. I actually talked about this on our esports news channel because I posted last Friday, obviously earlier than this episode on Monday, but still, there are so many options out there. It kind of confuses me, the French scene. Of the available IGLs, now we have MBK and Happy going to one single team. It kind of ruins the chances of all those available French players right now, like Keo, like Scream. You think of all the other players as well that are kind of a part of LDLC, as well as we had people like Haji and Sixer, XMS, and Devo Duvek, the players who probably had a chance to play for maybe I guess a lower tier team compared to G2 in this new French roster, but now there's really no IGLs in existence, and I mean that unironically. I've been saying these unironic terms so much these last few episodes, but there's no IGLs in existence with existence on G2, and now Happy and MBK, and according to N0thing, it will be MBK taking the IGL reins, but those are your last two great French IGLs now joining one team. Will this roster happen? I sure hope so. Will they compete and beat G2? Yes. And also, huge shouts to all of you guys who signed up for the WESG qualifiers. A lot of you guys have been DMing me saying, Jake, I got my team. We signed up. Congratulations to all of you guys. And there are actually two qualifiers. They'll be linked down below for all of you. The Canadian qualifiers, again, free to enter, $150,000 in prizes. And the USA qualifiers, $200,000 in prizes for CSGO and Dota 2. Or if you want to go for solo, you want to try by yourself, there's also StarCraft and Hearthstone and other esports. So you guys can sign up down below, completely free, and play for your chance. And again, even if you don't get prize pool money, it's a great way to actually compete and get yourself better at the game. So huge shout out to all of you guys who have signed up for that. I will be doing this shout out and then one other one in the future, and then we'll be done with that. So for all of you guys who have signed up, best of luck. And also very cool news, actually reposted by Elige on his Twitter. I'm going to link this video down below for all of you. If you guys could not be more convinced, and again, it's a very subtle difference, but I've actually had 60 Hz monitors my entire computer life. I still have them over there in the corner where I make and edit my videos as well as play some video games from time to time. I still have 60 Hz monitors. I've never been convinced, but all my friends have always told me, Jake, the difference between 60 and 144 Hz is immaculate. I've never actually had a side-by-side example, so Elige actually reposted this video. I will show it very briefly for all of you guys, the difference between all the Hertz monitors out there. And again, the difference between 60 and 144 is immaculate, but the real difference between 240 and 60 is just, it's crazy to see. So here's that quick video for all of you guys, and maybe to convince you guys to get some more monitors out there, although I know they're just so expensive. Maybe in the future, if anyone's watching, we can try and give away some monitors, but here's the difference for all you CSGO players, or just video game players in general, from 60 Hertz all the way to 240. And also, very lastly, for today's episode of CSGO News, I'm going to save one special story for next episode. If it's going to be a news episode, I kind of have a funny story out there for all of you I'm going to share with you. I really am curious what you guys think about this new CSGO app out there. But we'll save that for another episode. Also, post on FNX's Instagram story. This is now 3 days ago. We have no updates so far from FNX. If you guys are well aware, maybe some of you aren't, because let's be honest, this NTC N0thing roster has done pretty much nothing since their formation. They missed out on the American minor. They were, I guess you could say, somewhat close, and they were definitely a favorite team there. Ever since then, been pretty quiet as a team. And remember, they still have Phelps. They have KNG. I wouldn't say Bit and Cello are necessarily really dominant players, but they have a pretty solid core roster and have not done much with it. But that was his announcement on Instagram. Apparently, big news is coming soon, and what that big news is, hopefully, we're going to find out by this week sometime. I'm trying to think about what it might be for N0thing. Maybe a brand new organization actually signing these guys. Although it's a pretty bad time to actually sign a team like this. But again, anything can happen. So apparently, N0thing news coming sometime soon for FNX. Now, very lastly as well, we do have N0thing posting his final CSGO course guide. We actually announced this a couple weeks ago. He was going to announce pretty much a full-on CSGO course for all the rookies out there, as well as experienced players who want to just get better at overall the game itself. And I want to actually do a special thing here. I will buy a copy to give away on Twitter. If we can break 847 likes on this video, guys, just click the like button. That's all you got to do. I will buy and give away a copy to one viewer out there. And it's going to be, apparently the course right now is $14.99. I do apologize. It's not a huge giveaway, but if we break that like goal, guys, I will do a giveaway on Twitter and give one of you guys out there who actually wants the course guide a free CSGO course from N0thing, which again is a huge course guide. Apparently it's multiple videos in text format, that kind of stuff. If you guys want to get better at CSGO, I would gladly give away a copy for all of you guys. You can definitely use it, and I probably wouldn't, because I will always be bad. But as always, hope you guys all enjoyed today's episode of CSGO News. If you guys did, please leave a comment down below. I will see you guys all hopefully tomorrow if we do have stickers, or Wednesday if we hopefully have stickers by then. And again, also, if you guys want to follow me for big sticker giveaways, you guys know every time of year when we come around a major time and stickers are about to be released, I plan huge giveaways. I plan on investing a lot into this major itself and buying tons of capsules. So if you guys want chances at those giveaways, my Twitter will always be down below, and I give away plenty of stickers during the major time. So cross your fingers, guys. These stickers, I hope they're cool, but what can you expect anymore?